What's up, everybody? I am back today with another live stream. Uh, this is the Keep Pounding channel, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about since we didn't get to it before. Um, I was under the weather on Sunday, so I was only able to do that halftime stream. But yeah, you could tell by my voice that I was a little bit messed up and could not properly give you the quality content that you needed. Bye week, there wasn't really that much going on. However, I am going to throw in a few things that did happen during that bye week in this video as well. Um, so let's start with the fact that Bird, Samuel, and Trey Turner came back against the Giants this weekend. So that was really exciting. I think it was either Matt Khalil or Ryan Khalil that got hurt in the Giants game. Y'all correct me on which one it is in the comments down below. At first, I thought it was Ryan Khalil based on the number, but I could be wrong. Um, so we're gonna go over the Giants game now. Um, with the grades, I'm gonna throw out by position, as I always do. Quarterback B minus, and I say B minus because Cam Newton looked a little bit shaky on several drives, and I was not thrilled with it. I thought, if Cam keeps throwing into double and triple coverage like this, we're never going to move the chains. You know, and somehow we'd find somebody open, we'd magically somehow pull it off and kept the drive going on those drives for a little while anyway. But, bottom line, we did enough to win, and we got past the trap game. So I'm pleased with that. That was one of 3 trap games on our schedule. Baltimore is another one, and Cleveland is the other one. So, you're looking at a schedule meant to be 60-40 in our win percentage favor, except for those trap games. And the games against the Saints in December. And I've been watching around the league at the scores. Falcons couldn't get it done against the Steelers. They're now 1-2, I believe it is. Oh boy. And Tampa fell off the wagon wheel against Chicago the week before. That puts us right where we want to be, right with the Saints at 3-1. And I'm going to tell you, this game against the Redskins should be a win as well. As long as we do what we're supposed to be doing, and we don't pull a Panthers or pull a choke, whatever you'd like to call it, where we lose against somebody we really shouldn't lose to, like the Bears last year, then we should be fine. And I'm going to caution against that because the Redskins are one of those teams where we could possibly do that. So we need to watch out for that. But, Gettleman's Giants first year aren't that dangerous. They had a few weapons, but that was really it. We were able to figure out a way around them. It's just our offense was stalling drive after drive after drive during the middle of the game, and I'm just thinking, okay, here we go again. How are we going to get past this? And I'm going to skip ahead to the offensive line, which I normally don't do this, but I'm going to skip ahead to the offensive line because of number 74. and I believe his last name is Clark. Correct me wrong. Is it Clark? I don't know. It's that left tackle that we got off the free agent list about week 2 or week 3. That's just had to fill in, and he's just been absolute garbage for us on a few plays. Per game. He'll just take plays off, and Cam's gotten sacked at least once in the last game because of it, and I'm worried about that. He'll have at least a false start every game, or maybe a holding call, and it's we really need to address this before it becomes a real problem. But yeah, I will say the left tackle hasn't been our strong suit, and he is solid for 75% of the game, except for those plays that he takes off and does stupid things to cause penalties. So, um, there's that. So, because of him alone, I'm marking the offensive line as a B minus. Cam did have time to go through his progressions, do whatever he needed to do. So he was solid. He had the time back there, but he felt pressure because 74 looked like a revolving door on the plays that he took off. So I'm a little worried about that. Running back B plus. Running backs look solid. There's always room for improvement. They did manage to shut us down on the ISO and draw plays because we kept running them every. What we would do is we would go run, run, pass, run, run, pass, run, run, pass, and it became predictable. You kept running the draw on second down after you already ran like an ISO or something to the outside. It's not going to work. I mean, I I understand if you're setting up for a specific pass play or a specific play that you're going to run afterwards, but Norv, come on, man. I don't understand what that play calling was, on that. So I wanted to point that out. Norv's play calling wasn't on point, in the Giants game, and that did cost us at least 3 drives, and 2 of those drives were Cam by himself. Just making bad choices. But I just felt like the offensive drives could have been better. But I will give the running backs a B plus. They did look solid, and the plays that they were able to get through, that weren't predictable. Play calls. B minus on the wide receivers. You could always have progress there. Yeah, I thought we did enough to maybe earn a B plus at wide receiver. It's debatable. It depends on who you ask. Um, Personally, I'm going to give him a B plus because I was pleasantly happy with him. Um, Tied in A minus. Ian Thomas got out there and got a play, got a catch, and it was nice. You know, let me see. Someone just messaged. Agree on the play calling. Not very impressive. Too much simplicity and predictable calls. Yeah, that's exactly what I saw, Jared. Yeah, like I thought we were going back to the old. Who was the offensive coordinator during the during the John Fox days? Because that's the same type of play calling I saw, and I was like, what? I was like, that is not gonna cut it. Uh, I gotta disagree on tight ends. Thomas was responsible for one of the Cam's picks. Um, that's debatable. That's actually debatable. I'm not going to fault him for that because Cam was throwing some bad passes around that time. So I'm going to let him off the hook and give him that A minus. Normally, I would give him a straight A. You know, with for improvement. You'd have to really impress me to get an A plus grade. But yeah. So we'll move on to the defensive line. I thought, the front four looked okay. We just didn't get enough push. We stopped Barkley for the most part, which was great. Ask some of the Eastern teams how tough it is to stop Barkley. They'll tell you he is a monster. I've got him on my fantasy team, and he is racking up some fantasy points for me. He didn't this week, thank goodness. But he got me enough points for me to get the fantasy victory, of course. But yeah, the front four looked good. Um, Barkley really only escaped on the outside, to be honest. I was pretty happy with that. Um, Defensive end, we didn't get any push at all, like any push, and it was spotty. It was really really spotty. Um, we got the push when we needed it, but on the rest of those plays, it was just kind of like, okay, let's. It was kind of a stalemate, and Eli kind of won that battle. So, their O line isn't. They're not weak, but they're not strong either. They're about middle of the road, in my opinion. Some might argue maybe below average because of what Gettleman has done with them. But yeah, that's not uncommon because that's what he did with our offensive line with the people he kept shifting around. But I'm really not surprised with that. So I gave him a C plus. You know, tons of room to improve. But we did get those critical uh, tackles for losses when we needed them, and a couple of sacks as well. So I'm pretty happy with that. I might even promote him to a B minus because of that. Cornerbacks, B minus, B plus, B plus, because Bradbury was so solid today, or not today, but against the Giants. He looks so solid out there. Like it's so tough to lock down OBJ. It really is, and to be able to hold him to under 150 yards is quite impressive, considering the way he's been running yards after the catch, this year. It's been tough to bring him down and to cover him. Um, so I'm pretty happy with that. Dante Jackson looked good on the other side. So I'm thinking we better start looking at depth at corner. Because I'm feeling pretty confident. Bradbury's back from last year. He's doing what he was normally doing, and Dante's looking like he's gonna be there for a good while as well. So there were points where I thought, okay, let's put Dante Jackson on OBJ, but Bradbury had it on lock for a good 75% of the game. So I was like, all right, good for you, you know. I wasn't expecting that out of him, but he surprisingly proved me right that he should definitely be out there and handling some of these top grade wide receivers, which is great. Um, Linebackers, Shaq did a pretty good job. He came out there, showed what he was supposed to be doing, did what he was supposed to do. That's all we can ask of him. So, linebackers B plus with room to improve. Luke only had really a few plays. He wasn't really involved that much, but he was mainly focused on Barkley trying to stop him. So that's always a positive. Um, Free safety looked good. I'm gonna give free safety B minus. I believe that was captain out there, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and he did make some solid tackles. The problem is he goes for the big plays rather than just wrapping people up, and that's another big issue I've got with him. But and that's why I'm giving him a B minus for this game. But he did look okay out there. He didn't break that many coverages, and I thought, it will be okay against the Giants. Not a problem. But against bigger opponents like the Falcons, that that broken coverage is going to show up a lot more. That lazy tackling is going to show up a lot more in those games than against teams like the Giants and the Redskins and teams like that. So, so strong safety. Eric Reed wasn't really involved that much, which I'm really glad that he wasn't needed. But it's always nice to have that security blanket back there so they force some throws in and have to throw it near Bradbury or Dante Jackson, to try to complete those long passes. And and the linebackers, of course. So, but let's talk about that special teams. Let's talk about Graham Gano. 63 yards. I think the record's 64, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the record's 64. I forget who holds it, but holy cow, what a mammoth kick. And I saw him kicking some 75 yarders in training camp, so I figured, okay, let's give him a shot. Can't hurt to can't hurt to try it. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, oh God, oh God, oh God, is this kick gonna make it? We need this win, you know. And by golly, he made it with room to spare, and I was just like, hallelujah. Graham Gano for you, man. Whew. He put that extra extension to good use in the Giants game. He got that extension the week before, by the way. And I'll tell you, that's how he responds. We need to keep this guy until he retires. Or until he starts missing medium-sized kicks. Because that was incredible. He just channeled his inner John Casey from back in the day right there. That was... I knew he was capable of it. It's just a matter of the accuracy. So, excuse me, I'm a little tired. I've been running on not much sleep lately, so I'm just trying to get stuff done. But final thoughts for the Giants game. and I'm going to couple that up with thought issues I want to talk about from week 4 and week 5 right after this. Final thoughts for this game. Of course, you already know that 63-yarder, clutch, clutch, and we're staying right on schedule. We're staying right on my prediction schedule, which is excellent. As many of you know, I predicted 12 wins by the end of the season, and I'm still staying true to that. I'm still staying true to that. This is a chaotic league right now. People are winning and losing, upsets happening left and right. Do you know? Even Pittsburgh and New England are subject to those upsets right now. That's saying something. I would say there's maybe 4 to 6 teams that are really consistently staying uh, in their comfort zones and where they're supposed to be getting predictions at. And that's the Rams, the Chiefs, us, and I would think the Saints. You know, and Cleveland's playing a little bit over their heads right now. So, you know, I'm expecting 8-8 for the Cleveland Browns. You know, I'm not expecting them to go ham this year, but if they do, good for them. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely good for them. Even Jacksonville took a loss, you know, early. That was unpredictable. So, if you're playing Survivor on fantasy football, you're going to have a heck of a time this year. That's a train wreck. They're trying to figure out which ones are going to be upsets and which ones aren't. You know, even the Jets are pulling out upsets this year. Like, what is going on? Like, I don't even. Y'all know I have. It's on record. I have about an 87% complete correct pick ratio last year, and that's on a normal year. I'm pretty sure that went down at least 10% this year, just in the first 5 weeks. That's just that's whack. That's whack. So, Samuel and Bird looked good today. Looked good in that game on Sunday. Trey Turner was solid. Um, Again, I apologize about the yawn. Um, but that wraps up the Giants versus Panthers. Final thoughts. So let's look at the subjects of week 4 and 5 segment. And after this, I want to give at least like 5 to 10 minutes for people to ask questions or have conversations about whatever they want to talk about, Panthers related, of course. Um, but let's talk. Let's start with Samuel. Samuel had a really good day receiving wise, and I was really pleased with that. He got some critical catches where they were needed to keep the chains moving. Um, Bird did his part. Um, I already mentioned number 74, Clark. I already mentioned that about 10 minutes ago. Um, So now we get to the things that have happened this week. That's the week 4 stuff. This is the week 5 stuff. So, um, I was just told that Greg Olson practiced today. He's out of the boot. He's out of his boot. He's able to practice, and I watched the interview, and he said it was a typical Wednesday for him practice wise. So that's good. He's working his way back, and he's going to return sooner than we expect. So if you have Ian Thomas on your fantasy squad, get rid of him once Greg comes back, because you're not going to get any more points out of him for the rest of the year, I don't think. Because once Greg comes out and comes back in, that's usually it, injury wise, for him for the year. Which would happen to be me. I happen to have him, so I made the move just recently. So, Thomas Davis will return this week. He already practiced today, so we're excited to have him back. And if you thought this defense was scary once we added Eric Reed, just wait till we have Thomas Davis back in. That's a top 10 or a top 5 defense right there with Thomas Davis in. Shaq in there and Luke. I would not want to mess with that. Alright, so final thing I want to talk about, and this is probably going to take the most time, is Chubb. I think it's Brandon Chubb, if I'm not mistaken. Brother of another Chubb in the league. I think. Isn't that the Rock? But anyway, this Chubb that we signed is a linebacker. He's been in the league 2 years, drafted by the Rams, hasn't had a stat in the books at all. So I'm a little concerned with. I'm questioning why we feel the need to sign a linebacker at this time, considering we were getting Thomas Davis back. Like, I don't understand this. So somebody help me out with this. Um, uh, we released the quarterback Cook. That's our third quarterback. He's been sitting on the practice squad, and we released him. Why? We cannot take a chance on having just Taylor Heinicke back there behind Cam. Like, I don't feel comfortable with that. I feel like we need a third quarterback. Decent, below decent, whatever. We need a third quarterback. Cam is one concussion away from being out of the league on retirement or injury on a stretcher. You cannot take that risk. It's just that important. I'm so sick. I've watched. How long has it been since? God, we've struggled with quarterbacks since the beginning. And even before Ron Rivera got here. And then I watched Dave Gettleman just screw around with Derek Anderson, which I didn't like. Some of you did. I didn't. He just got picked up by the Bills, by the way. And, Now we're doing it again. We're still screwing around with third string quarterbacks with depth. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Taylor's good, but he's not that good to stand on his own as the only safety blanket behind Cam at quarterback. Um, the man I would have liked to see us get rid of is Southward, the safety. Now, I know what you're thinking. That would put us behind on depth at safety. But we just hired Eric Reed. We just signed Eric Reed. So, I'm thinking, this is surely we can get somebody on the free agent market or trade for somebody with a 6th or 7th round pick that could get us at least half the value of Southward, trading wise, or about his level of play in free agency for the same price. Yeah, I'm thinking we could balance it out. But to throw away our third quarterback for a linebacker with no stats, Marty, you're making me question your decision making, dude. Like, he better be good. He better be as good as everybody thinks he is. That's taking a massive, massive risk for somebody we know absolutely nothing about. So, that's where everybody else comes in. Please drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. Uh, uh, please like, sub, and hit the bell so you don't miss any new videos or live streams. I'm going to be doing a lot more live streaming, more so than videos because of issues with technology. So don't expect any thumbnails or anything extra. Just if you're watching this on VOD, which most of you do, please consider checking out some of the other videos and make sure to check in regularly. I am back, so I will be doing a pregame stream, a halftime stream, and a postgame stream with a wrap up. Now the postgame stream could come anywhere within that day to 3 days later. It just depends because I've got a busy schedule normally during the week. So that's just to let you know what's going on and what the plan and the schedule is. Thank you guys so very, very much for checking out the channel and this video. And I'll see you guys soon. Keep pounding.